Hey guys, my name's Jamie, and my book this week is called A Hippopotamusant. So it's by J. Patrick Lewis, pictures by Victoria Chess. It was published for Dial Books in 1990. This is going to be a poetry book. This book wasn't necessarily an award winner, but it was an honor book. The author himself was an award winner. So that's what it's called, A Hippopotamusant. So what's kind of neat about this book is there's a whole bunch of different characters, anywhere from snakes, birds, penguins, camels, turtles, eels, whatever you can imagine is probably in this book. So there's a bunch of different characters. For the plots, they're all different because they're each a poem and they're not the same. So it just kind of depends on what that is. And same thing with the themes. They're all pretty much an animal, so it's an animal-themed poetry book. So it was a really interesting book. There was a poem in here in particular I was going to read called Penguins. Deep in dark Antarctica, they waddle away in their tuxedos, black ties and tails. These little butlers who wait patiently for a month of Sundays, taking dips, dripping, flipping, flippers, flopping belly whoppers, keeping cool at 40 below, keeping everything on ice. So I thought this was a really cool poem. And one of the reasons I chose this book is it usually is telling you about where the animals live, for the most part. Like I said, in this poem, it had Antarctica and 40 below. That's where penguins live. That's where they live. So that's the reason I kind of chose this book, because it gives a good lesson on where things are, and I think it's important that kids need to know each. If they like animals, they need to know where they come from. So, and also one of the reasons I chose it for what kids would remember is specifically for that reason. They would learn early on where these animals came from. That's something we're going to remember. And, if they like a camel for whatever reason, they could say, "Oh, I like a camel." They read it in this book. They're probably going to remember it. So they can take that on with them. And another thing is it makes them use their mind a little bit. With the way things rhyme and stuff, it really makes them use their mind and make sure they're using their words correctly, and they're getting a good reading. They're getting to a good reading point in their childhood. Something this book kind of reminds me of when I was a kid was I used to love animals, and that's I think that's a really good thing. I still love animals, so I loved animals, and so as soon as I found this book, I thought it was great because that's something I can relate to, and it interests me. So that's part of the reason I chose this book also. It's a really good book. The illustrations are cute. They're bright, they're vivid, and then when they need to go a little bit dimmer, they can go dimmer in their pictures. But it was a really, really cute book. So if you guys have kids, I read it actually to some of my students, and they really liked it. So if you guys get a chance and you got kids and you think they might like it, I think this would be a really good book to do. So anyway, thanks. Hope you guys liked it.